What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We're in the garage today. The wind tunnel, as you can see. Oh yeah, that's fine. Look how stupid that flag looks on Sprinkles.
Oh my gosh, that's probably what she was mad about.
Yeah.
She doesn't like orange, I don't think.
Yeah, well, yeah. We went, in case you missed out on the last video, we went up the Badlands in the middle of the cornfields of northwestern Indiana. So anyway, they're popular quarry area, that little horseshoe area with all the little vertical climbs. You saw the carnage of the U-joint yoke. So we got that all fixed up and went and climbed up that one spot again, and I didn't hear it. I was still my razor, but Amber heard the same sound, and her steering at times felt like she was still in four-wheel drive when she wasn't. So and what else happened? The seals.
Oh yeah, all the seals.
Brand new seal,
out.
the pinion diff seal, the other axle seal blew out and started leaking fluid after the last. Or no, it was when it landed and you broke the U-joint.
The last time I hit it, well, we fixed the U-joint and then went back and hit it again. So that last time I hit it, I heard that same noise. Immediately got out and looked, and see I've got every seal leaking. So something's
wrong.
I mean, it's still pulling in four-wheel drive, but you know, in my opinion, why not pull it before a huge catastrophic failure and see what's wrong?
If you're just normal trail riding, you kick it out of four-wheel drive, and you said it still felt sometimes like it was in four-wheel drive steering.
As far as the steering, I could feel it kind of pushing, which my 800, that was the only way I knew my diff was bad, that there was an issue one time, because the four-wheel drive was working, but it just kept felt like pushing the front end, and it kind of feels that way right now, just driving around, because I drive around in two-wheel drive most of the time. It's not real often I end up having to put her in four-wheel drive, which is probably why the diff has lasted this long. I mean, I was surprised it's lasted this long, because she's 4 years old, and I'm still on the stock OEM diff.
Quit telling everybody how old she is, because that's why she might have been sassing you this weekend.
No, she's the OG of being a vicious razor, I guess. There's nothing wrong with being old, Sprinkles. I'm old.
No, you're not. Not at all. So, I guess today, Sprinkles just got another bath. So I guess we're going to just go ahead and yank out the diff, open it up, see what's inside.
I mean, it's not too hard. We might as well.
It's not a great big mystery. I mean, anybody can open up their diff and inspect, and as long as there's very easily replaceable things in there. So if you never been inside a diff before, let's show you what's in there. Pay attention, you might learn something, you might not.
And I'd rather fix it before it's cracked, and then you gotta buy a whole new diff, a case, which I probably need to upgrade at some point, but right now we're just gonna see what we see and go from there.
Well, and instead of, we did the gear reduction, add more torque to it and everything, so it is interesting to see that, it doesn't have to be a $500 per axle, upgrade to, it's just rhinos. I'm still on stock axles, drive shaft, but I've got a popping noise too somewhere since Bedford. I think it's suspension. I don't think it's anything. Might be my bearings in the front of the trailing arms or something. But anywho's, I guess we'll get at it and see what might be wrong.
And drain the fluid, so you don't want that mess.
Yep.
So we just gotta take These bolt out, which I sort of started already.
10 millimeter.
Tiny pry bar. There's a spot on here you can
Now just
pry up on it.
from experience, be sure you push down on that hub when you pull the case out, or else you pull your pinion, or not your pinion, you pull your carrier out, sprague out, rollers go all over the place. I'll hold that. You can just wiggle it out.
Ooh, there's the carnage.
Carnage? What carnage? I see a broke piece.
I see 1, 2, 3 broke pieces and 1, 2, 3 twisted pieces. Unless they're supposed to be like that.
No, they're not supposed to be
didn't think
twisted.
so.
Let's see if we can get a good. All right. So you can kind of see right there. They're supposed to be bent down where they grab the sprague. There's one missing. One bent, one missing, one missing. That's junk. Armature plate destroyed.
Well, there's other.
The sprague.
I need a new sprague.
How's your plastic piece there?
Which explains why I have four-wheel drive some and not some.
Some and not some.
That's broke.
So that's chewed up a little bit, so we'll get a new plastic piece coming. Your roll pin's still good, yeah. Spring.
So really not, I mean, it's not as bad as I thought. I don't know.
I don't think it's not as bad, but we're gonna replace that with the upgraded armature plate. Anybody have any suggestions of some aftermarket ones that aren't junk? Drop them in the comments. Let us know what you've had good luck with. So that was coming apart and probably eating away the inside of your seals, maybe?
Possibly.
To get it leaking again.
Which sucks if, you got to replace the sprague if that is the only thing wrong. But it's fine.
More chunks.
Yeah, big
More
one.
teeth. How many teeth should we be looking for? 1, 2,
There's
3.
at least 3, I think. Which I think
3 broke teeth and 3 twisted teeth altogether.
if you give me a magnet, I might be able to get it.
Oh,
It's
no.
right there.
That'll come out. I don't know where magnets at. And our rush to load up tools.
Okay.
So, yeah, little metal chunks everywhere through there. So we'll want to pull it out and clean it out real good.
So see, if you hear weird noises, but you still have four-wheel drive, you may be...
Or you feel something's off. Because she still had 4-wheel drive. And she said it felt like something was off. So next, pull out that hub if you can. But try not to pull out the rotor, but it might be with the rotor, the sprague. It might be all jammed up in there. I'd say if your armature plate's broke, all that stuff inside's broke too. Here, you want to, let's see if you're known for no grip strength.
Well, I'm also known to give it the what for and everything go flying. For as strong as I am everywhere, I have the most ridiculously weak grip strength in the world. It's shameful.
I'm gonna get something a little bit
There's
bigger.
a bigger cut right there I had.
Well, maybe it just wants to all come out in one piece.
It does.
So we have this left over from another sprague kit that keeps your rollers from going everywhere. Come on, grip strength. But if you don't have this laying around, you can throw some rubber bands on there as you pull them up. So for some reason your hubs are kind of stuck, but yeah, we got a broke piece there. Or no, that's not broke, that's just where the teeth drop in at.
Well, it's
but it's chewed up, so it's bad.
So you want to replace it for sure.
And just little chunks of metal all over the place. No cracks in it, just the teeth are chewed up, so.
Yeah, everything else looks good, I think.
We can keep it as a spare. But the hubs aren't wanting to come apart, so normally you can pull this, they're separated. Normally you can pull that out. There are two pieces there. I'm gonna say there's been some dirt, or not dirt, but chunks get in there and get it.
The debris field.
The debris field, yeah. So then your ring gear just pulls on out of there. You can see metal flake everywhere. And that's why you didn't have any ratcheting, you know, it just broke. And then there's this little, when you take them apart, there's this little spacer too to keep the ring gear from rubbing on the housing. Always be sure that goes back in there.
Everything else looks good.
Yeah, I mean, what's a magnet?
Just a little sludge. I don't think it's too bad.
I'd say it broke. We just didn't keep riding on it. You know, you felt something was off. And we investigated instead of just keep riding on it. Your next ride, you know, if we just, oh, well, maybe nothing's wrong with it.
Oh, the gears look good.
Then our next ride out, wherever that might be, hours away from home, you would have finished off your last 3 teeth.
Yes.
So there we go. And I guess we'll resume this video when we get some parts.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. So that's how you take it apart, and hopefully shipping will be a little quicker than what we're experiencing right now. Shipping's terrible.
Jeez, I know.
Terrible, terrible, terrible. So we're gonna clean this out, flush it out, brake clean.
Sprinkles, what did you do? I know this is all over that flag.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, we'll play some time traveling here and catch up when we have some parts.
Sounds good. And remember, if something doesn't feel right, you hear suspicious, loud noises, make sure you investigate, or you're going to be pretty upset when you're on the trails.
You're going to have stuff that looks like that all broke.
And then you could have cracked cases and be out a lot more money than just this.
Yeah. Or, you know, investigate the weird noise and your next wheeling trip isn't ruined because you didn't investigate.
Yeah. And especially if you're out on a big trip, you know, I bet there's people sometimes that just, I'm going to buy a diff real quick. You know, It can cost you more money, which then you have 2 diffs and you can fix the one, but just trying to save some people some headache on the trails. Just if you notice something, you know, take it to the shop. It's pretty easy to do. It took me 15 minutes to tear all that apart.
Which she's a little easier to work on without plastic and stuff in your way.
That's true.
But still, I mean, within an hour, anybody could have your diff out. Their diff out. And, you know, really, that's That's the major, that's the most common stuff, is this, that,
And the sprague.
the sprague.
About
And then
let the rollers loose.
And then that roll pin there, if you got four-wheel drive issues, if that will shear off at times. So sometimes it's just that little pin, and you just come on this side and punch it out and put a new one in it. So, but we've never broke one of those. It's
Well, you better order a spare while you're ordering the rest of my parts.
just
Since
might
you
as
said
well
that.
order you just an RS1 diff. I'm surprised you're just not like, this is junk, I want an RS1 diff.
That's right.
So, all right, jibber jabber, done. The last part of the video we filmed from a week ago or something
Was to be continued.
was to be continued because decisions were being made on which way to go, build up the current situation, upgrade better parts, or other options, RS1 diff. So the great debate on that
Has been solved.
has been solved.
Sort of.
Sort of. There's an empty foam container. And there's an RS1 diff. Very much larger than what came out of it. So we've got to do some fabricating, some modification on sprinkles to
Yes.
get that to be fit in there.
I guess what we're gonna do is just get this diff good enough to get by, because before our next ride, just because we have so many jobs coming in the shop, because we make customers and friends a priority, which is good, but that's gonna take quite a bit of fabricating, and we wanna make sure it's 100% right, so we don't wanna rush through it. So this will be good enough for run ride. Got a new armature plate.
From Super ATV.
Yes, so we'll get this put back together and put in and get our jobs done in the shop. And
Yes, we just put Clayton and Kashera's gear reduction in yesterday.
yes,
They switched over to the dark side.
so hopefully they love it. We'll find out.
They went 33, 12, 12 in a 1000 XP.
Yes.
So we did that yesterday, got that out the door for them. And so
Get me good enough to ride and
get you good enough. We're not, the Sprague had a little damage on the teeth, but it should be fine. People probably riding around on worse ones than that. Just with the RS1 diff, it spent some of our money for us. Sprinkles did. So big thanks to Andrew at Chef Stall Inc. Salem Polaris, whatever they're called. Their official title, we just call them Salem Polaris.
yeah.
Chef Stall Polaris. So he got that in quick for us. But like I said, we put friends and jobs first, as long as everybody understands we gotta have time to work on our stuff sometimes, or go wheeling.
We suspect that some of the damage occurred because April is Sprinkles' birthday month, and it's hard to say, did these parts just wear out, or was she just wanting to make sure she got a good birthday present? Hard to say.
We're not mentioning her age anymore because she might got upset about that.
Well, that might have just reminded her it was her birthday.
True.
Oh,
So what you didn't see, I think on the last video, or not last video, the first part, it's been a week. We skipped a video week. We're bad. Sorry. That once we got it out, the hubs were kind of stuck together. And so we had to let all the rollers out of the sprague to get a screwdriver in there to pry up, split the hubs apart, and found, where's the one?
I told you I was putting it in the
Oh, it's in the freezer. And just found that they were, the piece that goes in here was like almost starting to weld itself together. And I think that's why she's had so many, not complaints, but just like, man, my steering's getting stiff. I think that was the culprit of that, some hubs going bad. So we're gonna put it back together as it is. It just kind of goes back together as you took it apart, right?
Right.
Some things to, I don't know, I guess we can pick it back up. Just some things to watch for on the spring and the plastic piece,
Okay.
I suppose.
Alrighty.
We saw you squealing out.
I know you're gonna have everybody laughing at me.
I don't think anybody's laughing at you. You're bending 120 while DOM USA by hand. Do you want an airbender?
Not yet. Makes me feel young.
Keeps you young.
Well, I guess. I don't know. Probably work smarter, not harder is really the philosophy we should have.
I don't know, it just feels like more of you goes into it, I guess.
It's made with love. No one drowned in their own sweat.
Exactly.
I don't think so. You're throwing me off.
How am I throwing you off?
Getting me talking. Instead of paying attention to what I'm doing.
We start putting the hubs.
It's on the money. 43.5.
We started putting the hubs back together and felt that the caps on the inside of them were loose. You push them around with your fingers, so we tried some epoxy type stuff on it, maybe to seal it up good enough for a spare diff. So that's what happened probably in the last video you've seen. It's gonna be hard filming multiple videos on the same day.
Why don't I just put this with the same video?
We'll see.
We took a hiatus with this
Hiatus.
to work with this.
Look at this. All right, it's been a few days, so I don't know where we're at, what we last said,
Oh gosh, we've been
or anything.
busting butt out here. Just, of course, after our regular jobs. Been out here every night.
Yeah. So, crunch time like usual, last minute wrenching before we get going on a ride. And then throw some last minute fabricating, cage building work. Got that ready to weld. So, out of a cool little flat top cage there. And then what, a gear reduction to do immediately when we get back.
Yeah.
Like probably before we even unload, we'll just hop in here and start reductorizing. So
We might have. We'll see. Yeah.
I think we explained what we did to the diff. We're just limping by. We put a new armature plate in it.
And then hopefully, after the gear reduction,
It's
not RZR,
sprinkles time.
it's getting the RS1 diff in. Kind of disappointed to not run it this weekend, but I'd rather go ride than not ride. And like I said, we were working on customer stuff, so that comes first. So it's fine.
Well, it sounds like we're just gonna get rained on this weekend.
That's terrible. Go away.
So, I guess we put together the diff without showing it, but if anybody's got any questions, shoot them at us, or maybe when we get to building that diff, we'll get it all apart some more, show all the new upgraded stuff. We tried some epoxy type stuff on the output hub caps to keep the diff oil from leaking. They were loose, you could move them with your fingers. So hopefully that'll take care of that. It'd be nice if we had like 100,000 subscribers and we didn't have to go to work
Oh my God.
again, other than out here. But Oh well, we
We
appreciate
might
everybody.
get there.
We appreciate everybody that has subscribed and continues to support us
And brought their stuff for us to work on.
and trust us with their stuff. I see the tires. I like those tires. What are they? The XTR 300s. I mean, they would
XT300, System 3.
XT 300.
Yeah.
They look like big tires. They kind of just give the RZR an attitude.
It does.
So anyway, I guess we're going to. You're gonna get diffing.
Yep, and put it in sprinkles and get her suspension back on. And a Heim to change, I can't forget.
You're diffing, and I'm welding, I guess.
I guess,
Get that ready to go to powder coat before we leave.
hopefully.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys.
Yes.
Appreciate you. And we should be coming back after this one with some wheeling. Yay. I'm excited. I'm ready to go.
I know, me too.